Hello and salutations. Looks like I'm dying from hunger. Um, so so a couple things I wanted to talk about in this video, and I'm basically going through and putting together my thoughts in a series of videos. Um, if the developers watches it, they watch it, and if they don't, they don't. But um, at least I capture uh, how I feel about the project, the game, and the state that it is after close to 600 hours. I have never played a game that I have put 600 hours into that is like this. I mean, I played WoW for years, but nothing like this. And it wasn't, part of the reason why I have so much time in it is it wasn't because of level progression. It's that I was just trying to get my stuff back after it was taken from me. That it's crazy that the system pulls you in to such an extent. You're just constantly trying to keep your head above water, and that's where the time sink it's crazy. And so you come across scenarios or situations where you can see improvement. You're like, this could be much better. I've seen better versions of this in other titles. And the beauty about this game is that it is developed in the Unreal 4 engine. And Unreal 4 is relatively early in its life cycle. I think it's about 2 years ago, a year ago, is when titles really started being produced in the Unreal 4 engine. Before that, it was Unreal 3, and you had like Borderlands 2 and the Borderlands franchise, which really pushed the envelope on what the Unreal game engine could do with its physics. Like fire would run off a building and onto the ground, and then if you ran through it, you catch on fire too. Like that was pushing the envelope in what the Unreal Engine was capable of. And then I love the fact that they're using it in um, this game, and they're tying in the whole environmental survival elements. Fantastic work, really fantastic, and they've nailed it. They really have, from the heat stroke in the desert to the frostbite in the winter. Definitely has made challenging gameplay, um, and that part of it is fantastic. I mean, they've 100% nailed it. Also, the building mechanics in this game are second to none. The fact that you can make circular structures like this, and they've added the stability in the structures. I mean, it's limitless. There's tons and tons of YouTubers who are making videos on just building. You hear the music in the background. I myself have done this a couple times, and you just get into admin mode and you just kind of flush out your creativity. Like one of the challenges that I've had lately is how to turn circular towers and then put a square patio on it. And so it took me quite a bit of time to figure out how to make this square patio with the current building structure. And you can see that I've used the new DLC here, the Pikmin Winter DLC pack, which I fantastic work, by the way. Um, so there are aspects in this game that they 100% nail. They do 100% right. The crafting system, the thrall system, as far as the workers go, spot on. With the way that they get implemented in the workbenches. Um, and then you see a graphical representation of them, working on stuff. Amazing. A really good work. I do wish though that you could put an outfit on them. I know that's a little cheap, but I do wish I could have like a themed outfit. I could put some pants on this guy, but I do wish that was something that I could do. Um, Also, another topic is like right here they have a carpenter bench. I wish they had an upgraded carpenter bench, because like they have upgraded furnaces, have with that increases the slots. They need to have a tier 2 carpenter bench. They also need to have a tier 3 furnace, and I'm okay with it being like 2 stories high and costing whatever resources they want to charge for a tier 3 furnace. There does need to be some rework in the actual crafting benches themselves, like the armorer's bench and the advanced armorer's bench need to be incorporated together, like the armor's the blacksmithing bench and the advanced blacksmithing bench. They've nailed that spot on, but for the armorer's bench, that needs an entire rework. And then you know the cauldrons are perfect, fantastic job, but you do need a tier 3 furnace that is that you can smelt black ice and obsidian. You do need a tier 3 furnace. Maybe and you can add the resources. It can just be over the top with the resources required. Demon blood and black ice and all these crazy mats that put you in a tailspin of farming mats for that require an exorbitant amount of hours to drive gameplay and um, quality life improvements. Like I would absolutely do that. Um, Vaults. So I really hate how the functionality of a vault is perfect, but I really hate how they take up so much space. I would like for vaults there to be an intermediate, you go from a box to a chest to a vault. It really needs the vault needs to be a tier 4, and there needs to be a tier 3 solution for the vault. A 2x2 cubed safe. So there needs to be a box, a chest, a safe, and then a vault. And the safe can be the difference between the 25,000 hit points and the 150,000 hit points that the vault has. Um, but they're absolute needs in that way, because I hate the vaults. I hate how they take up so much space. I wish that I could just put a couple of safes in my building structure, and then I would have the walls that they had to go through, and then they had the safes, and I could use the structure to fortify my property and items instead of just having vaults out in the open that are of an exorbitant size. Because I know the thought process is that it was a showcase, but ultimately it just becomes an eyesore, and I wouldn't call it a showcase at all. Um, and then the second thing is, I don't know why this happens. I don't know what drives this in the game engine, but there is clipping. For some reason on the furnaces, and I've showcased this in 2 other videos. So now I need to delete this improved furnace and replace it a little farther in because it's clipping. And ultimately, when I placed it, it shouldn't allowed me to place it, because you have that little X. It shouldn't allowed me to place it, and so there needs to be a little touch up in the meshing on the barriers, because it exists, but it's not dialed in correctly. It'd give me an X when I try. Like, it worked on all the other ones, and maybe that's because this one is placed on a triangular foundation, so therefore it is a little funky in nature, and maybe that's why. But it needs to be relooked at. The meshing of Because this is a serious problem. I've been robbed multiple times before I understood that this was a game mechanic that I had to work around, an exploit that I had to work around. I lost my train of thought a little bit, but for the critique aspect of this, would definitely like to see a tier 3 safe. Would like to see improved carpenter's bench. Would like to see a tier 3 furnace, and I would like to see the armor's bench and the improved armor bench combined into one entity. Um, I realize that there is some. Oh, see, look, I have another furnace poking through. And if you think about it, and I can loot it from the outside. If you think about it, that is, I realize the armorer's bench is a complicated scenario to rework because they make different items. Well, the improved armorer's bench makes your exotic stuff and or I'm sorry, your epic stuff, and then your regular armor bench just makes your normal stuff in the flawless and exotic, where your improved makes the epic, flawless, and exotic based off of your thrall. Um, I don't want this video to run on too long, but I think AI has to be approached in multiple stages. You're going to have your passive AIs that the characters that you implement in the world that increase immersion. Actually, you know what? I'll make this a separate video. I don't want this to run on too long. So stay tuned for my AI thoughts and critiques. Thank you for watching.